think it's all set up. Not like I haven't done this weekly for a year now.
Yeah.
But theoretically, we're live.
It is alive.
I
Listen,
went to
can
the
get
Nerd House
anything.
channel. I went to the Nerd House channel and it was playing the Divinity stream, and the first thing I'm hearing is Dustin going, "Don't panic. It's the internet."
Classic.
It's only classic because you say it every single time.
I mean, if that's how you define classic, then
It's a classic.
let's do it.
It's classic in the same way that like Rocky Horror Picture Show was a classic. It's not a classic because it's good.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know what? I'll take it.
Alright, I think we're good.
All right. Wow, that was actually really quick. This means I can't stall
what she
while I
said.
work in my brain on what the hell we're doing. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Decisions and Dragons. I didn't have to take off my headset for that because I got earbuds now. Yay!
Hooray!
When last we left our intrepid heroes, they had made it back to Iman and had freed Kalia, the self-appointed business partner of Gilmore, from whatever strange cosmic rewriting that had befallen her after she had been seemingly pushed through the portal from the Underplane to Exandria. She explained that the Underplane has been mostly taken over by Vecna, with a few settlements of resistance placed here and there. And she had also mentioned that there were others that had also been pushed through before her, and it seemed that there were some that were going to be pushed in after her. You had done some shopping. You had gotten some more horses, if I recall, and decided to. Gilmore had actually conjured up his own fortress, if you will, leading to a very ostentatious mansion with which you all stayed in. While enjoying your stay, two of the party members had found a small, nondescript wooden door. And upon picking the lock and stepping inside, thinking it might have been a room closet, a sex dungeon, both applicable for Gilmore, let's be real. You had found that it was a small shrine both to the Raven Queen and specifically to her champion, Vaxelvat. After a tense conversation, both with Gilmore and amongst the party members, you all had awoken the following morning, having been presented with a delicious buffet of breakfast foods and a excited Gilmore. This is the DM you're getting today, everybody. I got nothing for you. Had excitedly stated that it was time to get moving. Is there anything you all wish to do in Iman before you depart?
No, let's get the fuck out of here.
I'd like to see the sights.
Okay, well, here's a cart. You can catch up. I'm going home.
Here's a cart. No horses.
No,
Cart.
You got hooves? Sorry, that's racist.
That is super racist.
Take the
Rhodes, you
scenic
can't
route.
just tell someone they have hooves.
Which is weird because Rhodes has been the one to say that to other people whenever they make generalizing comments like that. So we're breaking new ground. Oh, man. You all...
No, let's just get underway.
Sounds good. You all gather your supplies. Did you guys get another cart? I think you guys got two carts.
We got two carts.
because
Got it.
all 8 of us cannot fit in a single cart.
Not
That's-
comfortably.
It's gonna be a little cramped.
You all pack up your belongings, get the supplies on the carts, and start making your way out of Iman. As you do, Arthea, Actually, who is Arthea has an insane passive. Who else has an insane passive?
Yeah.
perception?
Oh, what am I?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm 22.
Okay.
I have 18.
Yeah, I don't know what we're
Faraday?
defining as insane.
And Faraday, what was yours?
20.
Damn, Jesus.
It's the shield.
All right, I'm gonna have to put this down now. Hold on. Pardon me. Writing a note for myself. Make insane stealth, not stealth
Stilath.
checks for any ninjas hoping to assassinate the party.
Excuse me?
The three of you, actually, everybody, because I rolled a natural 1 to see how sneaky they were going to be. Everybody, as you are making your way on the carts out of the city, at several points, you can actually spot what look like nondescript townspeople kind of keeping a weather eye on your carts as you start making your way out. Not necessarily doing anything malicious, but you're definitely getting an odd vibe from some of these people as they seem to be keeping tabs on you as you travel through the city.
Anything similar about them in terms of either clothing or species, race, anything like that?
With your passive, well, even with your passive, you still see this. There's nothing really uniform amongst them. You see, will look to be a farming family, making their way through, but the father seems to be kind of glaring at you guys a little bit. Further down the road, you pass by a small group of guards, and the majority of them just sort of hail and hold up a hand, but there's one that their eyes kind of linger for a moment before they turn and step away. You see a tiefling merchant who is in the middle of making a sale, and as your cart passes by, you see he stops speaking and just kind of glances up at you for a moment. It's just this odd collection of eyes seem to be on you.
Do we notice any accidentally revealed clasp symbols or anything like that?
For that, I'm going to actually need an active perception check.
14.
14. Given that a lot of these people are admiring from a distance, you can't quite make out any markings really or any specific details on tattoos or anything. But yeah, you don't see any confirmation of clasp involvement here.
Do we determine who's riding with whom?
I don't believe so.
No.
Why don't we do that now?
Who's driving?
Yeah, that's important.
Got it.
I'm probably driving one of the carts because I have an actual bonus to animal handling. It's been a day.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
I have the land vehicle proficiency from the little spirit friend, so I'm
Okay.
probably getting the other guys.
All right, so we've got Dermot driving one and Cad driving the other. Who
Which
is
good
sitting
because
where?
they needed to be in separate carts anyway.
Faraday's sitting in Cat's cart.
Continuing that feud, I love it. All right, who's next?
I can hang out with Dermot. Like, I'll see Faraday go sit with Cat and be like very confused. So like, but they're always together. And so he'll like walk over to Dermot.
All right,
The
Arthea.
lines are being drawn.
I'll turn on my mic first. Gonna have to get used to this. I'll take wow, brain. Cad's cart.
Got it.
Brain. Okay.
Just point
Like
over
this
your
one.
shoulder. Yeah, I mean like this one.
I'm in this cart.
All right. Pike is going to ride with Cad's cart. And then Dermot. Gilmore and Kalia are going to ride with Dermot.
Almost split between boys and girls.
Almost.
True story. All right. You guys are still making your way through the city. And at one point, as you are approaching the gates, you can see a small detachment of guards that seem to be positioned at the gate, with a few of them speaking with each other and then kind of glancing in your direction as the carts approach. Let me see.
We've only been here a day.
Yeah, I don't like this.
As the carts approach, you can see the guards hail and give you a wave and acknowledge your exit from the city. But again, you notice about 2 or 3 of the guards' eyes focused on you as you go through the gates and start making your way out of the city itself. With that in mind,
Okay, this is now like the second wave of people that we've noticed kind of like looking at us weird. Can I do a perception check to kind of figure out like who are their eyes landing on most often? Is it, wow, this is an eclectic group of weirdos, I don't understand how to process this, or is it I'm looking at one particular person?
okay. Yeah, go ahead and make me a perception check.
Oh, that is a natty 20 for 26.
Damn. You can see that it's well, I'll say with a natty 20, you can definitely see that the majority of them are looking at you. That being said, you do also see that they sort of, scan everybody in each cart, their eyes hovering over yourself and Faraday.
I mean, I know the girl is blue, but like, come on.
Actually, I have a question for Faraday. You are venturing out of a city in pure spring weather right now. Are you still lingering in winter right now?
She's fighting it.
Okay.
She's fighting it for a little bit longer. She wants to get... I think her mindset is, we're not done yet.
Sounds good.
So.
All right. Well, let me roll on this handy-dandy little thing.
Can I turn to Pike and just say, Pike, have you heard anything about people watching us? Or I know Lady DeRollo had to rush off yesterday, but it just feel eyes on the back of my neck.
I mean, kind of did notice that some of the guards were really keyed in, but nothing offhand. I mean, you never want to draw too much attention, but then again, being heroes, it sort of comes with the territory, I guess. If I've learned anything, it's that the mobs, the crowds of people might be cheering for you, but there's always some people in there that might not be entirely supportive of whatever heroic acts you do.
Well, I mean, the clasp has already been trying to kill us, but...
What?
The clasp.
Wait,
Oh, yeah,
no.
We've already made enemies in like 3 different cities outside of Vasselheim.
And those are the ones we're actually allowed to be in. Like, those are the cities we're not yet banned from.
I thought we were bad. Shit. But what did you do to get the clasp on you?
No.
We may have interrupted a smuggling and selling operation that they had, and Terraced fields, and yeah, didn't go over very well there. Some of their folks say no longer living.
Oh shit. That's troubling. Last I heard, they were supposed to be helping with recovery and actually like assisting the people, but if that's changed, then oof.
Well, they're assisting them get high, but I don't think they're doing anything actually productive.
Well, there was also the ones who came after us in Westrun right before we left.
Them as well.
I mean, that was, I think, well, I guess it could have been tied to the first one. Either way, I'm guessing they're probably not happy about, well, the number of people that they sent after us that didn't come back.
Oof. Well, I would just keep a sharp eye. If that's 2 instances with the clasp, from what Vax had told me, they don't really ever act without calculated purpose. So just be careful, especially if we're about to go into another place where the clasp have shown up to cause trouble. No, Spencer. Your travel goes without incident. That was the little roll I just did to see if any shenanigans happen.
This Pike is there, and everyone's like, anybody that looks is like, oh hell no.
Yeah. You pass by like one
giant
cart.
mace.
Yeah, you pass by one cart that's like the token suspicious cart, where it's like,
Mhm.
oh, our wheel broke. How will we ever fail?
Actually, we found the
Actually,
parts.
we have a spare axle.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah, between Kalia and Pike, like
Mhm. Yeah. The travel, I think it's about a week. I want to say it's about a week. Fuck it, it's a week. It's about a week. Actually, you guys are tracking days. 7 days, a full 7 days for your brains. You guys notice a couple things. First off, Gilmore does summon the mansion door each night as his continued thank you, and also so we don't have to camp out amongst the stars. I mean, I have an easy field we could camp in inside, but not out here. No.
That field is
Um,
wonderful.
Would you like to
actually.
travel with us always?
Trust me, even though I do have the luxury of bringing my home with me wherever we go, I would very much prefer to travel via teleportation circle once we get that figured out.
That is very fair point.
Also, Pike consistently each night does say a prayer to the Everlight to, guide everybody's feet, keep everybody moving, to figure out what Spencer is running about. And Kalia actually volunteers for the midnight watch every single night, so she can essentially half shift and then just go on the prowl and keep the camp safe. But yes, are there any conversations, any bits of information you want to glean from any NPCs?
I don't know if I don't think she necessarily strikes up a conversation, but at least realizing what Kali is doing, maybe after like night 2 or 3, like the motives of why she takes the midnight shift. Faraday will not like volunteer to join her, but will, take her 4 hours of trancing and then go outside. Or go out with her and just kind of sit and just kind of observe and just kind of glean.
Do this. Let's switch things up. Hopefully this is good. Oh, perfect. It's a little loud. Sorry.
It's okay. Sirenscape decided to crash on me.
Oh.
Hold on. Fight you.
Let me know when you are
I'm
ready.
good.
Okay. Make me a perception check.
Much better than the other one. 24.
24. Awesome. You on the first night see you awaken from your trance, and she has already been on the prowl. As you step out and just sort of glance around, you can see very, very briefly in the bushes that she is moving very quietly, as her eyes, which seem to have this reflective glow off of the moonlight, seem to be fixed on a let's say a chicken, a rogue chicken that has wandered near your encampment. And you see she's hunched low to the ground, and her features are masked behind the shadows of the brush and the tree that's immediately next to her, but you can still see her form as she deftly and stealthily creeps around as this chicken is sort of just hanging out, sort of milling about the area. I went with chicken. It's a stupid one. Whatever.
I like it. I like it.
And in one deft swoop, you see her leap from the spot and tackle around this chicken. You see her claws sink into this chicken without a sound coming out of the animal. It is dead within a moment. And she sort of tumbles to the ground holding it, cradling it almost like a little child as she just holds it. And almost is like looking away, almost as if she's trying to feel if there's any other vibrations, if she can feel the heart slowly die, that sort of thing. And feeling satisfied, she rises. And even as she rises, she still has this sort of arch to her back that just makes it look like she's constantly got this hump. But her features, her limbs have grown longer in this form. Her hair is still a wild, mess behind her, but her facial features are like the best thing I can equal it to is in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Whenever vamps do the full get up, sort of like that, where she's in between full wolf and humanoid.
Okay.
Her scars almost seem a little bit more pronounced in this form, as the skin is just pulled tightly against her bones and her muscle. But she's sort of like rotating the chicken, almost admiring her kill, and then turns and sees you standing outside the door. And she crouches down, almost like a half bow. And as she does, she just sort of like animal, like shifts over and just sits next to you. And then just starts taking out the feathers of the chicken. And she's just wordless. But eventually, after she has completely defeathered the chicken and has started to prepare it, still in her hybrid form, she speaks, and her voice, for a moment, chills you to the bone because it's got this bass to it that it didn't have before, and this instinctual growl that comes with it. You are also one of the Hemocraft warriors, yes?
Yeah.
Not a shifter, though.
No.
What is your gift?
She will take her hand and kind of let an Eldritch Blast build up in her palm. And then point out into the grass and just kind of let it shoot across, like, just graze the top of all the, like, grass and bushes and stuff off into the distance.
You let this energy surge out, and you can see it almost light up, maybe within like a foot or so of the energy as it just passes over the grass. And you just hear the magic. Are you self-taught, or I don't know the terms. Did you get it from somewhere?
The hemocraft I was taught by my mentor. That, and I kind of gesture to, like, the general, like, air in that direction, is I guess you could call it a gift.
This teacher of yours, and they're now like diving in and just pulling parts of this chicken out. How experienced were they? Are they? Were they?
She taught me a lot. Taught me everything I know about Hemocraft. We never really got into the specifics of beyond my the bloodletting, the maledics, the curses. That's what she taught me before I was given my gift, and we honed that with it.
I suppose she's just like breaking the neck. Like just you're having a nice conversation, but there's just this sound that's filling the night that's not pleasant. And she says, and at this point she is now, her features are starting to soften a little bit. Well, I could try to teach you, though my form is clearly different. But I can at least tell you that I can impart to you what my teacher told me. And that is that we are creatures of instinct. Our abilities, our bloodletting, the act of using one's own blood to kill a monster is through your own willpower. And it is not looked upon well where I come from. People like to think you become the monster that you are trying to kill, but they don't quite understand it. There is control.
Did you pick that?
No. No. I was unfortunately set upon by a lycanthrope. I was hunting near my village, and lucky or unlucky for me, there was a hemocraft specialist, if you want to call them, I don't know, blood hunter, who had been passing through, hunting a strega himself. Seeing my condition and warding off the beast, he gave me an option. Given that I don't do the clerics or the temples, it was a small village. I could succumb to the curse and become the monster. Or I could use it. Not long after that, I was banished from my village. But it's okay. They were a bunch of fucks anyway.
I like that. That idea of using the curse as a gift. And using it for your advantage, no matter how the origin of it happened.
I think that is something we all can learn. But who am I? I'm just a wolf who slaughtered a chicken. Would you like some? I'm about to put some on the fire.
Sure.
Wonderful. You see, she takes, there's this small, like, simple campfire that she's built for herself with a very small, like, simple spit. And she just stabs multiple pieces of this chicken onto this one long spit and just sets it. And then just rotates it over the next few hours. But the rest of the night goes uneventful.
Okay.
Anything else anybody wants to do while traveling?
I'd like to seek out Pike at some point and ask about her connection with Saren Ray and the way she communicates with her and how she came to have the talents that she has. And then I also kind of like to tell her about what happened up on the mountain when I like very first time like really connected with the Raven Queen.
Okay. You explain this all to her, and she says, I mean, that's... How did he look?
I mean, he had this armor down his shoulder and a mask on, but
Yeah, I saw that at Vex's. I
strong.
was not a fan. It was a little creepy.
He looked strong. He seemed worried. He asked me if he was back, of course. And I said that he was trying to come back. And he wasn't shy about expressing the great concern when I told him that we were looking to save Gilmore's life.
Well, if I learned anything about Vax, it's that if things had turned out differently, and if Keyleth and Vax had attended a party together, Keyleth would say that Vax is her husband. And then Vax would say that Gilmore is his husband. And it's sort of inseparable, so I guess it makes sense. Well,
So, does Keyleth have two husbands, or Vex has one of each?
well, technically she doesn't have any right now, last I heard, but it was sort of like a joke amongst us that there was always the knowledge that at any point Vax would possibly pursue Gilmore, but it was sort of well accepted amongst all of us anyway. Keyleth always found it kind of hilarious whenever Vax and Gilmore would have their moments, so I don't think it ever caused any problems. But you asked about Saren Ray.
Yes, I mean, I'm good with my swords, but I've never. The only magic I can do is, and I just like light up my pendant really quick with a light cantrip and then put it out. That's all I've ever been able to do. Certainly not worthy enough to speak with the Dawnfather when I was, well, I suppose that finding the right deity has been a bit of a process for me.
Well, what you just said is one of the hugest steps that I took to figure out my connection with the Everlight. And that is that she has always supported me, whether I wanted to allow that or not. What I mean is that what you just said, whether you're worthy, you're always worthy. It means something that you were able to connect with Vax, especially at such a critical moment. She's always had some sort of love for you. I mean, if she didn't, I'm pretty sure that you wouldn't have encountered the champion that night. And if I learned anything, it's that fear and self-doubt are the poison of clerics and paladins. I there was a point where I was in a conflict with some pretty fucking awful bastards. And in that fight, I thought I had lost my connection to her from some sort of curse. That I had failed her, that I had not done right enough by her. That I wasn't enough, that I wasn't worthy, that I was just a gnome who could heal people, sort of, whenever it kind of worked, or wanted to work, I guess. But the reality was that the Everlight was always there. I just needed to give myself wholly to that.
Do you think that if I wanted to learn how to do the things you do, you know, it not I don't want to give up what I know how to do, but to learn something new. Do you think that something I could do?
I would say if Vax could remember everything that he learned how to do prior to his devotion to the Raven Queen, then I see absolutely no reason that you couldn't too.
I don't know if I'm the type of person that could give myself in the way a paladin could, but I I've always been the spirits, things that helped me out, they've always been kind of with me. I think that learning how to channel in the same ways that and different ways that you do things might be a little more fitting, but I don't think I'm all that wise.
I would say if you can find a good temple to the Raven Queen. There are some pretty shitty ones out there. I'm not trying to talk shit on her worshippers at all. It's just that some of them need to remember to maybe clean up a little bit. But that sounded so terrible. Oh my god. If you can find a good temple, the one in Whitestone, I know Percy visits a lot. I would see if you can speak with one of the keepers there and see what journey that you can take to attaining this. I mean, I don't see any reason you couldn't. You're pretty devout.
Well, I was hoping to. This is the one in Vasselheim, but they kind of. I mean, I feel like maybe there's some marks on the pavement where they tossed us out, you know?
Yeah, well,
But the one in Western has. I like the people there, and we've spent a lot of time there with Thurston's family, and I mean, I didn't get a chance to visit the one in Whitestone, but running into Lord Derolo would be interesting.
yeah, just be aware. Percy is a wonderful, beautiful soul, but sometimes his manners can make him kind of come off as kind of an asshole. I kind of told that to him one time, and I don't think he took it well, but he means it. He means well. He's just very noble. If that's the word
Well,
for it.
Thurston is very noble too, but he's always nice and he's not an asshole. Even when he gets a little pretentious about the sleeping quarters, we just like to tease him. But he's one of the family, you know.
Yeah,
I mean-
does he always judge what wine he's drinking too?
Well, okay, his family does own a vineyard, and I I used to drink really shitty wine. It tasted a lot like that stuff that makes you stop coughing.
Yeah, it was
Ever since-
awesome. I love that stuff.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, it's really sweet, and it's good if you put a little bit of that fizzy water in it and then some ice, but, like, apparently that's not how you're supposed to drink it. You're supposed to just be able to, like, sniff it and then taste it all.
Amazing, though.
Well, Thurston's taught me a lot more about what it's supposed to taste like. I guess it's not supposed to be like that cough syrupy stuff.
She reaches back into her pack and pulls out a bottle of cheap wine. Do you have any of the fizzy water stuff?
Did we get any of that before we left?
Am I there?
I thought you were in the cart with us. Or I assume this is like on the road.
This is like after like camping one night or whatever.
Oh, yeah, I mean if you're there, yeah, sure.
I mean, if I'm there, sure. No, we did not pick up fizzy water. We picked up rainbow beverage that can peel paint off of probably everything, and honey mead that we had, and fire whiskey that makes your entire face go numb, I think, and makes you do really dumb things.
Don't give that to Grog if you ever see him, please.
Oh, it was hilarious. It was so funny. Mako drank it. I don't think you met him. He was traveling with us before. He drank it, and then he went to go wake up everyone in the morning, and I'm pretty sure Faraday, like, blasted him right into the tent.
That's what happens when you give the dumbass responsibility.
When we get to Western, or even if we stop at, I don't really know directions here. Next time we stop at a good pub, I will get some and can, I don't know, makes it a little bubbly. But my point was that Thurston's not like that. You're very fun.
Well,
But I mean, everybody can be an asshole sometimes. I think Dermot thinks I'm just an asshole all the time, so it is what it is.
I don't think you're an asshole all the time.
I just ignore that.
Yeah, Thurston is sitting in the background like, do they know that I can hear them?
well, just saying, a little bit of a tiff between friends sometimes is a good thing. And she's looking at all of you. Because you learn more about each other and maybe about what your, do's and don'ts are. And, it makes for better, I don't know, coexistence. Okay.
Did you and I don't know, calling your group by their name makes you sound mythological, but did you all argue like that?
Time to time. There was one time that I thought Grog was going to kill Vax. But then again, that's kind of multiple times. But there was this one time, though. Grog really likes his beard. Like, a lot. And then, so it finally started coming in. And Vax may have shaved off half of it in the middle of the night. And I'm pretty sure I heard multiple things shatter in Grog's room. It took a lot of time to repair all the stuff in his room and the keep after that. But
I walk up to like actually join this conversation. What do you mean by half?
I mean, like literally, like one half of his face and mustache was bare, and the other one still had the beard.
Dermot's eyes just go wide before he starts just trying and failing to stifle laughter.
I thought it was
But,
kind
I
of
mean-
funny, but after that, it was a little tense for a hot second between the two.
Did he just walk around with half of a beard?
He picked up charcoal and he tried to.
Please tell me he did a comb over.
Out of game. How the fuck would that work?
just across his face.
You have to have a really, really full beard to do
Yeah,
it properly.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
imagining Dustin like with a half, and then he just like takes
Yeah.
it like this,
Like
and like
this.
with a clip.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Exactly like this.
Yeah.
Or some wig glue. Yeah, use some wig glue to
Yes.
keep it there. Mm-hmm.
I
Hey,
don't.
you asked.
I don't think Grog thought of that, mostly because it was just starting to come in. But yeah, there were points where things were really tough and tense with everybody. Tyrion coming along, pretty sure Vex was going to kill him on sight if he hadn't. Well, if Vax hadn't stopped her. But point is that the longer you adventure with one another, you stop becoming just adventuring partners or a party, and it becomes more than that. So all I'm saying is that sometimes it's healthy to have those fights. But you have to fight. You can't just glare at each other the whole time.
Like actually fight?
Well, not like fight like I'm going to kill you and I'm going to use a spell, but just whatever you've got in your head, just get it out. All of it. And be honest about it. And own it. And then things should work out. I mean, I wanted to kill Scanlan multiple times in our time together. I'm probably going to try and kill him when we get to Western, to be honest. But I was honest with him about it all. And he knew where I was at and that I was hurt, and kind of worked back towards getting back into each other's good graces. It just takes time. And with that, I'm going to go back to my reading. And she opens Tusk Love to chapter 2. It's the only book, apparently, in Tal'Dorei, but
I mean, I'm pretty sure we have been carting that around with us.
Yeah, I have a copy in my backpack.
Yeah.
don't spoil the ending. I want to know how it ends.
Tyrion, you mentioned him. Is he the... We have that book in Wildmount. Is that the same person?
Yeah.
I have that book here. It's in my
He
bag at the
embellishes
bottom.
a little bit on his own accomplishments, but you know, a lot of that stuff is actually true.
Wow.
Not that I'm bragging. I'm really not. I'm so glad we're not doing that shit anymore.
Even the Kraken?
Even the Kraken. Anyway. She eventually does go back to her reading. A few more days go by, just within that week. And your cart, I can't talk today. I got nothing for you. We're broadcasting this on Twitch, and I'm like, cart.
Hey, you do you, pal.
I will do me.
Okay.
Can you like
Anyway.
get off the stream before you go do you? Like,
I think you need to be on a
I
different
need to-
channel to do that.
Yeah,
actually.
I think there's a different website.
Rhodes,
for
we are
that.
on the internet right now, and I could just tell everyone about the first words coming out of your microphone.
My weird ass boyfriend who walked around with his underwear talking about scratching his balls. Yeah, that's my boyfriend. He has no shame. If I let him, he'd come into the room and do it right now in front of this camera.
Oh.
No shame. I'm protecting you all.
I need Ash to just play
Oh my
one
God.
game. Oh my god. You come upon the familiar gates of Westron. You can see typical guard presence at the walls. You see carts coming and going. Question though, Thurston, are you yourself or are you Cadriel's sister again?
Thurston.
Okay. The guards see you as you approach, give a wave, announce to open the gates. You are just let in without any issue, and you find yourselves on the streets of Westron. Where
What
do you
think
go?
the odds are that we get through the next 24 hours without somebody trying to jump off of rooftops and kill us?
That's very specific. Are we just talking about somebody killing us or someone specifically jumping off a rooftop to do it? That changes the math.
I think it could be jumping, well, someone, let's say, trying to kill us. They could be on the rooftop or not. Over, under, just like general.
Cujo.
Yes.
Western is a big enough city to have like sewers, right?
Yes.
Dermot immediately says, "My money is people crawling out of the sewers. They tried to the roofs one time. They're going to
Didn't
try
work.
and mix it up."
That's disgusting.
Oh, at least,
God.
do you
I'm
think
not
we'd,
crawling into the sewer.
do you think we'd smell them coming?
I would certainly
Possibly.
hope so. I would imagine so.
Okay.
Smell them from a mile away if they ever crawled out of the sewer after us, says Kalia. Gilmore
He gets it.
says, if there's somebody who's going to be crawling out of these sewers after us, I'm just going to conjure the door now. You can just get me when it's done. I'm not touching that. Where you guys go?
Well, did you
I look
wanna-
at Thurston.
your family first?
Or we could go visit Ellis first. I'm sure she's waiting for us.
Did you keep her updated, Faraday, on where we were? Are they expecting us today?
I assume so, but you know what?
Could be a good surprise.
Probably not. No, I'm going to say that, okay, she tried the first night, forgetting that you can't send out of the mansion, thinking that the bracelet was broken.
Guys get on the table.
Yeah, she had kind of a grog moment.
Piece of shit.
We get the one thing and now this one breaks? What the? And then I'll say like halfway through, she updated Ellis, if that's okay. Of like, we're close. I don't want to tell you when because can't guarantee, but we're close.
Gotcha. Yeah, she would have replied excitedly and said, "Yay, I can't wait to see you," or something. I don't know. I'm not thinking out 25 words.
That's okay. I imagine it was just a lot of little kids screaming at that point.
Pretty much, yeah. Even though you're not hearing it with your ears are ringing. Just from what you got back from her.
Well, so we have to go check in, see Ellis, check in with Irid, see how things are going. We definitely need to stop by the Nollards. I'm sure your mother will be thrilled to have us all showing up once again.
With no
Maybe,
warning.
Kristen, do you
With
think
no warning.
perhaps we shouldn't all go?
I think that's fair.
Well, I have to go to the Smiths. I need to pick up that small.
Oh, your travel.
Yeah, my travel size one.
Forgot.
It was very sweet of him to make something custom. So I don't want to let it sit there for too long. And she pulls out a notebook, and it's got like a checklist on it. To do
Yeah.
in Westruun.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's got bullet points,
I've
and
got a
little
couple things.
boxes.
Yeah.
It's very neat. It's color coded.
Okay. Ellis first, and then we'll figure it out from there.
Ellis first. Probably
Ellis
keep an
first.
eye out for Jericho too. He seems to pop up a lot.
Yeah.
I'm sure that he's keeping an eye out for Faraday.
She just like shoves Cat.
Gilmore does one of these. Hmm.
From the other cart.
Yes. He knows. He has a sense for these things.
Faraday has an admirer
Hmm.
or a stalker.
I mean, to be fair, I think Jericho has an admirer too.
Can we just go, please? Just like
You know, there
beat
was
red.
a solid part of time where I thought Scanlan was essentially a stalker. But hey, it worked out.
I'm not sure that's the healthiest start to a relationship.
No, but then again, there's nothing really healthy about anything Scanlan Shorthalt.
Probably not the least healthy though. Like there's probably worse.
It's true. He
To
didn't
each
pull
their
the hair move that most stalkers do. You know, you take a lock of hair and you just hold onto it and say, I don't know anything about stalkers. What the hell am I talking about?
I feel
Well,
like that'd be
he
really
didn't take any
dangerous.
of your hair that you
I don't like where this conversation's going.
Speaking of Scanlan, weren't we supposed to meet him somewhere?
Yeah, I gotta figure out where that was. And that's Cujo talking.
It was Quincy's.
Yeah, it was
Where
Quincy's.
former Quincy's empty space.
Yes.
We haven't
That's
been here since, well, that incident.
Well, yeah, I did tell him to meet me there, so. Truth be told, I may actually depart here if that's okay, and I could just meet up with you guys later if you want.
That works.
Okay.
Of course.
Well, remember what I said. You guys are family now, whether you want it or not. And she says this as she's climbing off of the cart as it's still moving through the streets. And as she, like, just before she hops off, she pops back up, and no killing each other. And she hops off. All right. The carts pull up towards the Uminor Observatory. And you, at this point, are starting to get some familiarity with some of the other researchers that are on the grounds and whatnot. They just sort of wave as they see you approaching. And as you step inside the familiar halls of the observatory, the dwarven woman regards you each with a warm greeting and leads you upstairs. There you can see Ellis sitting on one of the tables with her feet kind of dangling off, and Irid sort of sitting nearby, just sort of like biting her nails. And over on the actual observatory side with the big telescope, you can see Estella turned away. She looks to be fiddling with something at her desk. But the moment that you all step up onto the landing, Ellis looks, recognizes, hops, and sprints for all of you. Faraday, what's your AC?
18.
18? Okay. She leaps through the air and grabs you around the waist, almost like a football tackle, but she's still a child, so it doesn't knock you off of your feet.
Well, that's good.
But she grips you around the waist. I missed you so much. Oh my god. And she's freaking out, doing excited girl noises.
I just hug her. And like, as I spin her around, and you watch as some of Verity's hair starts to turn like a little green, like at the roots. But yeah, I just hug her really tight.
Where did you guys go? Where'd you guys go? What'd you guys do? Did you guys have? Did you guys kill things?
Lots of things.
Yay! And Irid says, she's been nonstop all morning, if for the last couple of mornings. But yay! Yeah, welcome back, everybody.
I'll go up to Irid and do that, like, forearm grab, handshake thing that people do, you know?
Even she, like, as you reach in, she's like, "Hey,
It's good to see you.
good to see you."
How things been? Anything else that we should be watching for?
We'll talk. Mostly okay. A little creepy here and there, but mostly okay.
Have you heard anything? Leaving Amon, there seemed to be eyes on us in a way that I wouldn't be comfortable with if it was going on here too.
I mostly kind of stayed here. I did kind of venture out on the grounds a little bit and did some walks around the city. I didn't really hear anything, but then again, I don't. And this, I hope I'm not disappointing. I don't really keep track of that sort of stuff. But I didn't. I mean, it wasn't like the town was on fire or anything like that.
I was just wondering if you perhaps might have heard something in passing. Well, everybody, I suppose, is no longer welcome in Vasselheim either now. So.
How many is that for you guys now?
Three.
Just the two.
Three.
3?
No, we only have 2.
What's the third one?
Well, I kind of have been ticking Western off the list.
that was
Just-
that was more like a at your own cost, like come at your own risk.
Oh, all right then. Yeah, two.
Yeah, like two where there's actual potential consequences, legal consequences if we arrive.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Neither of which were strictly our fault.
I mean,
I read-
neither of which
oh.
were really our fault at all.
Thurston, make a persuasion check.
One of them was not
That's
our
a
fault.
D12. That's not okay.
To be fair, Lady DeRollo is the one that said F off to Vasselheim. We were just part of that package.
24.
24. Okay. For a hot second, after you say it's not entirely our fault, she kind of looks at you like, "You sure?" And then kind of shrugs it off, like, "All right. Well, I'm glad you guys are safe." And as you guys are having this conversation, Gilmore steps in. "Oh my goodness, Estelle, I love what you've done with the place. It's very new age, astrological sign sort of decor. I'm a fan." And Estella is still turned away, working at something on her desk. "Darling?" And then eventually you do see, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I apologize." And you see she kind of moves some papers around and kind of clears up her desk and then turns, "Wonderful, you've all returned. I apologize." And now that you see her, you can see she's a little sleep deprived and a little exhausted. But she's got that like excitable sort of disposition about her as she approaches and says, "I'm wonderful to see that you're safe, Gilmore. It's wonderful to see you." And she kind of does a little curtsy, and Gilmore kind of is like, "Right," and then does a little bow himself. "What are you working on, darling?" "Oh, so much, so many possibilities and theories and projects. Truth be told, I could probably use a little bit of break. A lot of working, actually." Well, that's good. Thank you for keying in these heroes to the stars going out, as they were saying. She says, yes, right. Yes, right. I apologize. Would you all excuse me for a moment? I have to, go freshen up a little bit.
Of course.
Yeah,
Is
that's...
she looking?
Sure.
Is she acting weirder than normal? Like
Make an insight check with
having
advantage.
having.
She's not
I mean,
necessarily pretending, but it's a little difficult to read right now.
God, what do I have? Insight. Oh. 24.
24. With a 24, you can definitely see that she has essentially been working herself ragged for the last couple of days. So you see that exhaustion setting in. She is acting, well, trying to act a little dismissive of her projects. In the way that she's not being very specific. But yeah, it's also clear that she's just 100% like tanked. So her mannerisms and everything, her speech pattern is one of just fatigue.
Okay. Does she seem nervous? Is it like
Oh.
she's trying to sort of she's avoiding specifics because there's something about that whatever she's working on that is
Kinda.
making her nervous?
Yeah, it's not that she's necessarily leaving anything out, but she's also not explaining what's going on. So if pressed, maybe she'll kind of explain, but
Probably useless.
But yeah. She does another little curtsy and then steps away into a small chamber. Faraday, with your passive, now that the excitement has dawned down, you can see that Ellis has a little wrap around her hand.
Take it, kind of like grab, not like forcefully grab her, but like as she's like, I'm sure just running circles.
Yep.
Just
100%.
just kind of, gently kind of just snag her and hold her. What'd you do?
I didn't do it.
Who did this?
You pull back the wrap and you see a little line, a little cut. Stella was doing something. She's doing some sort of tests and you had a cut into my hand. You can see it's mostly like healed over. Like there's a little bit of bruising. So her ow was most likely just like, ow, no, my wound. Like ever dramatic as a child would be. But it is distinctly through the palm.
Well, at least you'll match me. And I kind of like, I'm not wearing sleeves, so I show her the ones on my hands.
Why? Where's that from?
That's from the magic I do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's creepy.
That's creepy. I don't like that.
It's a little scary.
It's okay. It's a little scary. You
But
don't have to do that kind of magic.
No, I don't, actually. Thank God. But I'm learning. I'm learning some more.
Can you show me?
Yeah. Oh, she took the stuff down. Hey, I read. He says, hold on. And she...
How much do we pay this poor woman? I feel like we need to...
Nothing. She put herself
in not nearly
servitude.
She reaches and she grabs 3. There's like a couple like lounge chairs and couches that are just like up against the wall. Clearly meant for like, okay, in between bouts of extreme focus, go sit and just like be. But she grabs 3 pillows. Right, ready? Ella says, yeah. And Irid throws them up in the air. Second, while I do a thing. Oof. All right, that die hates me tonight. She focuses her hand, and you see a little bit of burning energy reflect in her palm, and you see 2 rays sputter out and don't quite like actually get any range, just like a of energy, but then one impales, hits the pillow right in the center and goes through it and kind of singes the wall of the observatory a little bit, and the pillow falls to the ground, and Irid immediately runs up, stamps out the fire.
Are there other singe marks if I look up around
Make a
like, the
perception check.
walls? Oh, that's good. 24.
24. You can definitely see that there are a few. It's weird because they're kind of few and far in between, which leads you to believe that there were many more, but through the use of prestidigitation, they had been removed.
Oh, no wonder why this poor woman looks like she hasn't slept since we left.
I don't know why. She asked me to do it. But
No, it's not your fault though. I mean, Stella does look like she honestly looks worse than, well, we do, and that's saying a lot.
you guys look fine to me. I missed you guys.
We missed you too.
Did
She
you
runs.
practice with that sword I gave you?
Yeah, I did.
Oh god.
And she goes and grabs it and then holds it out. And you can see that she holds it
Walk away.
in a in a childlike but still learning pose. She's got one hand back as she's learning a single sword combat stance.
You have good form. Just keep practicing.
Oh well, Irid's also been helping me out a little bit with that. And Irid goes, "Yeah, it's been fun." And as Ellis turns away, she lifts up one of her pant legs, and you just see bruises.
Oh
Oh.
And she shrugs
It
it off.
could be worse. When I was teaching Arthea how to shoot a crossbow, she hit me right in the ass.
Talk about that. You said you wouldn't mention it.
Ellis giggles.
I did. It was only one time though, and it was just a little bit. I missed a little.
Gilmore at this point kind of like glances to where Estella had run off to, but then shrugs it off. Well, I am going to go and start on some items for all of you.
Gilmore, before you leave,
Yes.
this is Ellis, the child that we were telling you
Oh.
about.
Yes, hello. It's wonderful to meet you. I am glorious Sean Gilmore. And she's like, you're kind of loud. And like
Oh.
takes a step back, not like sheepishly, just like kind of just letting it fly. And you see Gilmore go,
He is kind of loud.
insults from children sometimes just sting a little bit more. But that's all right. It's fine. Well, it was wonderful to make your acquaintance, Ellis. I love the runes, and I love the hair color. And then Ellis kind of blushes and kind of like kicks the floor a little bit. Thank you, Mr. Gilmore. Well, I do have some work that I do have to get done. I am a businessman after all, and payment to owe to all of you. So if there's anything offhand that you would need, let me know. I've already got a couple things I'm going to work on. Thank you again.
Of course.
And that sending stone is always active, so if you ever need me, just say the word.
We will. We will.
He comes up and gives each of you a tight hug. Well, this is weird. I don't usually adventure with a party that like leaving. I've got this. I'm a little verklempt. I don't know how to feel about it.
What? Kalia with us?
Kalia is like lingering by the door, like kind of glancing in, but like not taking a step in the room.
When Gilmore says goodbye to Dermot, I just say we'll likely be in town for a few days. So if you need an extra set of hands, let me know. I'm happy to help.
Sounds good. Oh, God, I see why I don't adventure. This is hard. I love all of you. Stay fabulous. I'm going to go back to my shop. And you see he walks away, and with Arthea and, well, with everybody's passive perception, you can see as he leaves, he does one of these. As he glamorously walks down the stairs back to the front door.
No, who do we think is watching his shop?
I don't know.
One of his
Well, I
mates.
hope it's not that dwarf fellow.
Oh, the one that was sleeping.
Yeah, that's the guy.
Because when we last
The
were
one
here-
who's sleeping. The one who I think that's the only thing I've ever seen him do.
Yeah, not probably not the best customer service, that one.
As this conversation happens, Ira just sort of peers around the corner. All right, I think I have a moment or two without being entirely rude. Yeah, for the most part, it was fine. I didn't really see anything too crazy. And Alice was like, yeah, she was really nice. She was a little excited all the time, no matter what I was doing. So, like, that was kind of weird. And Iris says, she did take a little bit of Ellis's blood, and I don't think she's really stepped away from her desk over there since. I don't know what she's doing. I don't know what she's testing for or what, but I don't know. It just kind of threw us off because we've just essentially been sitting hanging around the last couple days.
Just give Cat and I.
Odd behavior.
She vanished off what to like a small like a room
Yeah, like
that's
a small, like a rest room. Rest room.
Jesus.
Jesus Christ. She has gone in there previously to prepare tea.
Okay.
So it's
It is
possible
a-
she's just refreshing herself a little
So
bit.
it's a hostess stand.
Sure.
Is it a room with a door?
Yes.
Or is it
yes.
just is it a door that is closed?
Yes, it is.
Just give Cad like a nod. Desk.
Cat will silently walk up, and she's not going to touch anything, but like she's going to take a look at the papers on the desk. Casually, I assume there's windows in this room, as if
Oh,
she's
yes.
looking out the window, but she's really looking at the papers on the desk.
Okay. Let's go ahead and make me a investigation check.
18.
18. I'll switch to this just because I think that'll work a little bit better. Turn that off. Sorry, give me a second. I'm making sure that the
No seconds, none.
sure. And then we will do this one. And this one. There it goes. You kind of glance through. What was your total? I'm so sorry.
18.
18. Okay. You're glancing through her notes, and you can see that she's got notes along with this strange half-spherical object of some kind that is glowing at several different points. It's got several plates that sort of all connect in this strange, odd way, so it almost looks like a weird mosaic of some kind in this almost snow globe artifact. And it is constantly rotating and changing position. Her notes detail the effect of her blood with conduits of the other planes and what effect that it has on them. And basically, you gather that this object has teeny little pieces of each of the planes, that at least most of the planes. Some of them, there's no reaching. The plane of chaos, pandemonium, that sort of thing, she has no access to. But specifically for the elemental planes, she's been testing. And each plane, her results say, has reacted in a strange yet exhilarating way. The conduit to the fire plane, which is displayed as a small, like, burning ember sort of jewel. She states had increased in heat by a factor of 100%. That the mere presence of the blood near this gave off a brighter light. Basically, she details that with each plane, the natural ambient effect of that element is enhanced. She also details that the blood, and this is more of a side note, this wasn't like a main feature, like subject matter sort of thing. She states that the blood could also be used as a universal spell component, in that any spell that has a material component, her blood could theoretically be used to substitute that.
Is she also inferring anywhere in the notes that perhaps Ellis is not from this plane of existence?
No. If anything, she is on the other side of the camp, where she is stating multiple times, not quite like a madwoman, but that she is the soul of Exandria. That her existence is tied directly to the balance of these planes, how our material plane behaves and reacts and exists, and that with more knowledge, Ellis could be considered one of the most powerful arcane beings in Exandria. But then also next to that note, you see concerns about security. Given this possibility that she needs to be kept safe no matter what. So, she hasn't quite listed out what her game plan with that was, but basically she is confirming this theory that she has had for however many years, that there is a being that the very plane of Exandria and all of its neighboring planes, there's a being that is tied to all of that.
Okay. And would I get the feeling, as I'm looking through this, that she means to she wants to, like us, keep Ellis safe, or she wants to use her to enhance anything she might be doing, like a la the Loreleis with the Lyria, like in a dangerous way. So would I get the sense that, hey, we need to take Ellis with us, this is not safe for her here anymore?
You don't necessarily get any tone of like, I'm researching Ellis because she can make my other projects or what have you be better. It's more that she is just listing all of these theories and facts that she has come across about what her capabilities are and what she could offer Exandria as a whole.
Okay. I will shove my hands in my pockets and wander back over to the group. And I first look at Faraday and say, keep her close. And we need to keep her. It's imperative that we keep her safer than she was here, even then she was here.
Ellis just kind of looks up at Faraday and shrugs.
I smooth out her hair.
She slaps your hand away at one point.
I'll look at Alice and just say, if anybody asks you about your blood again, say no.
Okay. Oh, I did learn one thing. Okay, I have to remember the words. And she very slowly and stumbly mimics vocal incantation, and you watch as her hair kind of slowly mutes to like a brownish color, and some of the runes like glow much less, but her eyes still stay the same. It's not, I haven't figured out how perfected it yet, but I could theoretically look normal.
Can I roll an Arcana check to see what she tried to do?
Sure.
And I'll kind of just speak softly just to the group, and I'll tell them what I read about, and especially the portion about her blood being able to be used as a spell component, and things like that.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
That is an 18 Arcana.
18. She was trying to use the disguise self spell, but you gather from her attempting the incantation and kind of stumbling over her words, it kinda worked, but not as much as actually completing the spell would have.
I will, I'll kneel down and say, it helps me get the words right when I sing them. And I will, singing the verbal component, I will cast Disguise Self on myself. You can't cast it on another person. But I change my hair color, my beard gets bigger and bushier, and I change myself to like look like a dwarf.
Nice. She giggles a little bit and then kind of repeats the song over and over again and then focuses in. And as she sings it, you watch as the hair fully turns to a dark like auburn. Her eyes shift and the glow recedes, and her irises are visible. She got gray eyes, and the runes have stopped glowing entirely, and it almost looks like there's just maybe some like birthmarks here and there, but the runes are not clearly visible now.
I'll wink and do that like clicking thing that some people can do that I can absolutely not do
What
with
the-
your mouth. Yeah, that. And stand back up.
Thanks, Dermot. Do you always sing your spells?
Not all of them, but I do incorporate some kind of music into just about everything.
Okay.
I think it's more fun that way.
I like
But
it.
you can develop your own style just like Thurston develops his.
I like it.
Well, thank you. I try to keep life interesting.
She eventually she's like playing with her hair and like looking at the color. I don't like it. But what do you do now? Estella still has not returned from this other room.
I feel like I should
I'll
check on her or something. I don't know. I mean, I feel bad. We did kind of, show up and with a bunch of, a lot, and then leave immediately afterward while being chased by people. Yeah.
To be fair, she did dump the, impending doom of the universe on us to begin with. So
Ding ding
That's
ding. That
very
one.
true.
we are kind of even.
Actually, I'm not sure we are even, come to think of it. I feel like that whole, universe is imploding still outweighs everything else.
The babysitting for a month.
Well, I guess.
Um,
just a little.
Yeah.
Get another month out of it. I feel like I should try it. Well, at least make sure she's okay. She looked a lot less, she never quite, a lot less put together than normal.
Well, we could probably do her the courtesy of just calling. And I'll go over to the door and knock and call out, "Hey, you still in there?"
Make a perception check.
12.
With a 12, you knock and you see the door kind of like creak open a little bit. You peer inside and you can see she is sitting at a small table with what looks like a cup of tea, and she is unconscious.
I will. What kind of flooring is there where we are?
I'm gonna say it's like kitchen tile.
Okay.
Does that influence your decision to do a thing?
It does not influence my decision to do a thing. It does influence whether or not I'm rolling with disadvantage on this stealth check.
Jesus.
Because I'm clip cloppy. But I am going to try and stealthily enter the room. And just move her tea out of the way. If there's a blanket, give her a blanket.
Sure. Okay.
Motherfucker. Well, it could have been a natural 20, but instead it's a 12.
I mean,
Oh,
she
that's
is
awful.
passed the fuck out.
Okay.
You-
Yeah, I just take, I'm not really gonna go like searching around the room for, incriminating evidence or anything. But my passive perception is a 16.
okay.
I'm really just making sure that if she falls off her stool, she's not going to like hit something and blow herself up,
Sure.
or anything like that. Just move all of the volatile components out of her way, out of arm's reach. Give her a blanket if there is one, and then I will clip clop away.
So you step forward and you lightly slide the teacup away on the opposite side of the table. You do find like a small like a shawl. Like it's not a blanket, but it's something.
Yeah.
You sort of like place it around her. And you can see that well, she's got one hand sort of holding up her face, which she's now like readjusting to get a little bit more comfortable. And her other, as she retracts it from the table, you see a small purple pyramid, looking not too dissimilar from the one that Gilmore had given you, with some slightly different markings on there.
The sending stone. I will. I'll try and take it out of her hand, just to put it like on the table.
I will need a sleight of hand check.
Hey, there we go. 22.
With the 22, you deftly you basically like bait her a little bit. You kind of like nudge her in a way where she kind of reaches up to like get a little bit more comfortable. And as she does, her hand comes up off of the table and off of the stone. And the moment it does, like a fucking shyster, you scoop it and just move it away.
Yeah.
Do you take it or do you just move it away?
No, I don't take it.
Okay.
Yeah, I just move it onto like a nearby counter or the other side of the table.
Okay.
Somewhere where it's not going to get knocked or misplaced or what have you.
Gotcha. All right.
And then on my way out, I will gingerly close the door behind me.
Sounds good.
And I will say, "She's asleep. We should probably just go.
Yeah.
We can
and
come back and thank her later."
While Dermot's doing that, I've now gone to examine that lovely contraption.
Mm-hmm.
Noticing that she's been in there for a while, it feels a little safer.
Yeah, you can
I just,
see.
I just really want to play with it.
You see, it is just constantly shifting around this. It's several different plates that is surrounding this, like turquoise gem in the center, that make you think that it's possibly just rotating, almost as if the planes are in rotation around the material plane.
So you have a gem center,
Mhm.
and then you have all elemental planes.
Mhm.
Do we have Feywild separate?
Feywild is separate, yes. It's like
Okay.
it's that one's more of a ring that's just connected to the entire mechanism, but it is a little bit more distant from the the other elemental planes, I should say.
Okay. And do we have an underplane or something that would potentially, I guess, based on where the material plane is, do we have something that would logically make sense to be some kind of mirror or inverse?
Make an Arcana check. This song sucks. I don't know why I put it in there. For this, we'll try.
Damn,
that's
Cucho,
really
tell us how you
high.
really feel.
It's just an oboe like going nuts, and I'm just like, I'm not here for it.
Shit. 29.
20. Jesus. As you're examining this artifact,
You see her like pick it up like this.
as you pick it up and you're examining, you can see and feel around the bottom piece of this thing along the base, and there is one little itty bitty indentation. You kind of focus on it and you kind of press in and see that it is a button, and you watch as all of the plates and all the rotation flips piece by piece
Oh,
to
shit.
reflect. And even the center gem goes from this turquoise color to a deep purple. And some of the other pieces also change color as they've all completely rotated into a completely different setting.
Oh, that's really nifty.
That you can see where prior, you saw some regular rotations, sort of uniform movements. Now that this has completely switched, the movements are much more erratic, as some of the rotations kind of get stuck and have to push themselves through. And it's complete and it's operational, but it's having issues.
And are all the actual same planes there? So it has, once it flipped over, you have do you still have all 4 elemental planes?
The
All
elemental
of
planes are in existence. The one that symbolized the Feywild, instead of having this like emerald green sort of gem or
Mhm.
possible rock or some sort of significant, what the hell am I trying to say? Signifying element.
Get
Jesus.
there eventually.
It has switched, so it is black.
Ominous. Interesting. Guys, look at this.
What,
I
what
pushed
should
a
I say? Am I
button.
looking at?
So it's a model. Did you ever see like a model of, well, the planet? It has moons go around it sometimes. I saw them in museums. They usually have like planet and then you have moons and
Alice 100% just goes, and then laughs to herself as she kind of makes a joke.
So, okay. So before we had Exandria, and then there were elemental planes, and there was Feywild, and then a bunch of other planes. It was basically a model of the entire universe. And then I pushed a button on the side, and the whole thing flipped. And now the Feywild's gone. And there's, well, this, and she points out this black thing, somewhat ominous, but you know. And then the blue stone in the center turned into this purple, and everything inverted.
As you're saying this, Kalia actually kind of peeks around the corner, like into the room. That is strange. This Feywild you speak of.
Hmm?
I believe that was one of the planes that was. I don't know how this works, so the only thing I could say is this.
Destroyed.
Sure.
Ow.
When the invasion set in, everything started going wrong. The wind was always cold. The flames of the torches would burn lower. It was strange. I don't know how to explain it, but from some of the adventurers I came across when things were still somewhat survivable, they had stated that the Feywild was gone.
Gone? Like, you couldn't go there anymore? Or,
I didn't really pay too much
I mean-
attention. I just heard that yet another thing happened because of this invasion, and
I mean, I guess
all I kind of took from it.
probably doesn't really matter if it's, well, not there. Well, no, I guess it does matter. Are there other places that are gone in your world?
I really only stayed in the material. I
Well, yeah.
didn't really venture out too much.
But you have stars like we do.
Yes, well, did.
Did. Are they gone too?
It was on that day. When the night had fallen, there were no stars in the sky.
Okay. Yeah, we're having that problem.
And she sees after you say that you're having that problem, that like you see in her behavior, she just sort of has this sense of urgency, and she says, there was a... I'm trying to think of anything that might help. There was one darker person not affiliated with the incoming horde. I believe he rose the dead. Can't remember the name. It was another a mage, kind of like you, but older and less cute. And she's trying with everything she can to try to think of other adjectives, but she's just... I don't know.
Didn't the dude on the mountaintop tell us a name?
Ayaket? Did he
No,
mention?
that was his name. He had mentioned someone else, didn't he? Or was that his girlfriend?
His
Yeah.
girlfriend was
He's definitely
Devestrin.
mentioned just go.
I don't know if he ever mentioned. I don't know if he ever mentioned who he specifically worked for / reported to. I don't know if any of the things that we collected from under the mines. I mean, we do have her journal. I don't remember if there was anything mentioned in there aside from the children, which didn't ring a bell anywhere here.
Cujo, can I roll a history check to try to remember if there was another name of a person?
Sure, go ahead.
wasn't the children? Didn't that have to do with Mako and the making of the books with
No.
psionic powers? I thought it did.
No, this was what was in the journal that we took from, well, along with the rest of the bear, along with the bear rug. It was the journal we took. It was written in, I mean, it was written in Underplane script because we actually read it backwards, I think.
Kuja, that was an 11.
With an 11, Ayaket never mentioned a specific name, if I recall. His books that he had with him were like, "Welcome to Wildmount."
He had the tourist guide.
Yeah, he basically had a bunch of tourist like guidebooks for the different regions of Exandria, but he never mentioned a name.
Okay.
But I will give you this. As you're thinking about this description that Kalia is attempting to give,
Mm-hmm.
you may have interacted with somebody like this previously. Whether they knew it or not.
Oh crap.
There was some crazy dude before the first time we came into Western, wasn't it? Was it the first time we came into Western or the first time we came into Durst Fields?
Which
There was
one?
some crazy mage that we saw on the road.
Was there?
Crazy Mage on Road.
As a player, am I remembering this wrong?
I don't remember
I
a
don't
crazy mage on the
remember
road to
that.
Western. But
There
there
was- we
is a
talked-
specific thing that's
There
in my
was-
brain.
There was the, what's his name? Oh god. The guy we met in Whitestone. We helped him out. Fuck. This is really gonna
With the
bother me a lot.
werewolves?
Hang on. I'm gonna rack my brain really fast. Like
The one that came to us to help with the werewolves and help prevent them from turning. That wizard? Arcanist of some sort?
The
we
dude that
had-
I'm thinking of was all after this.
there was, well, let's see. As I try to remember people we met. I mean, I'm thinking, because we met a couple people.
We met Emra and Yorvoth. Those were the elf siblings.
Those were the elves we
We
met.
met on the road.
We were traveling with Eldariel
Mm-hmm.
for most of that trek.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god, who else did we meet? Who are those assholes who were with what's his name?
The Tabaxi and the dwarf.
Chain Helm's a dwarf.
Chain Helm's a dwarf.
Jane Helm's a dwarf, yes. He was traveling with his little friends though.
I heard that is Dorf.
Dorf.
D-O-R-F.
Yep.
Jane Helm is a dwarf.
You're not the only one with mushmouth today.
He is a dwarf. He doesn't get to claim the W.
I will allow one more person to roll a history check.
I mean, I'll roll history then because
David.
this scrolling is going to take too long.
Okay.
Quite honestly, I probably will do better. Not too much though. 22.
Not that much better than a 11.
It was a 12.
Plus 10?
Yeah. You know what?
Shut the
Stop phoning it in,
up.
all right?
God,
all I-
unbelievable.
We've very well established that Arathea is the nerd in this party.
Yeah, that's all I'm good
Right.
at. All I'm good at is pressing buttons on models that I watching and remembering shit. Everything else, I'm useless.
Wizards are the nerds, and we love them for it because no one else is good at that. No other class
have-
can really be good at that.
I have 3 skills, guys. Okay, that's it.
Arthea, you think back around that time-ish. You follow along with the events. So you saved the elves.
Yes,
You made it to Joran Village.
we did.
You had an arrangement. You went to the mines with Mako.
We did.
Completed that objective. And you came back.
We
But
did.
there was one extra little thing to sweeten the pot that one of you guys did.
Cad.
I took the lyrium for them.
You did.
There was one thing Cad saw.
You saw the dude. When we were down there. He was creeped out too. Remember, he asked you what you saw.
Yes.
And you saw him. You saw him, you saw his face, you saw his face get gaunt and skull, well, kind of desiccated and skull-like, and he looked really freaked out. But like he had no idea what you were talking about.
Yes, and that was what I saw Thurston too. You think he has something to do with this, or
Could you
A role to
describe
play.
this man to me?
Actually, yes. I probably can do that now that I remember who the fuck we're talking about.
Looking past Sam, here's my notes for that scene. Cad tests the refined lyrium. Weird shit happens. That's literally all I wrote.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
I am 100% going to do a TikTok
Holy
about, like,
fuck.
remember that episode where Marisha just 100% pieces the plot together
Yeah!
before anybody puts it together? I'm
It
going to
was
tell you
so
about my
good.
party.
Yeah, because she
Not
spends
this
like
kid.
10 minutes not paying attention to what's going on, just pouring through fucking multiple notebooks.
It was fucking awesome, and I loved it.
Yeah, it's
Not
let's
this
see.
kid. This
I
kid
like-
wrote
I like
weird
your-
shit happen.
For Faraday, that makes sense. She's like, I don't know, it was some weird shit.
Oh god,
That's-
okay.
that's
His name was
true.
Nevin.
You see
That's
Kalia's
true.
eyes light up.
You recognize
Torn.
that name.
Nevin Torn.
I don't know his last name. He was
He was a necromancer.
he
He... Oh, it's coming back to me a little bit.
oh god, he made us the necklaces we're wearing, I think.
I don't know that you should be wearing those.
Oh shit.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah,
That
the guy that
one.
we
I was
the
like
one-
thinking there was another one.
No.
No, he made the necklaces.
He made the necklaces for us. He's the one who sent us off the mountain to go get the stones for it.
I don't know what... It's possible he was pushed through as well. But I can tell you that when... Well, after the invasion of Althea was complete.
What's that name again?
Althea.
And-
Oh, the man?
No, not the name, the place. The place.
Althea.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Cujo. I remove my necklace and cast Identify on it.
Yeah. You know, this is like, once again, we probably should have done that before we put them on, guys. This is the second time we've been carting around things.
So happy.
We were young and
I mean,
impressionable.
I'm pretty sure I did this when we got
You did.
them.
You did. So you cast Identify. I'll do this first, and then Kat, I know you were going to say something. You cast Identify, and it is an amulet against proof of detection. It basically is that item.
Uh-huh.
However,
Fuck off.
You
Oh,
do
no, however,
No,
fuck
there's
off.
no. It's
Did
just
they,
one
like-
little detail. It's
Did
one
they
teeny
tack an
little
amendment
detail
onto this bill?
with
There's a
identify.
rider.
I'm gonna rule that you can also identify the school of magic that is
Uh-huh.
used to power the enchantment. It is necromancy that is powering this, not abjuration.
What time of day is it?
About midday.
Okay. That's okay. So I relay that information to the group. And I put the necklace back on.
I'll say because you had it in your hand. You didn't de-attune or whatever.
Yeah.
It's still in effect. It's just you were examining it for a moment.
I am going to relay this information to the group. It appears this amulet is just a proof against detection, just like it was meant to be. But the school of magic used to power it appears to be, and I kind of look at Ellis, not abjuration, as it normally would.
Which
Okay,
one
so-
is it?
I need to go see a friend of mine.
I'm waiting for you to be like, Ellis, earmuffs.
Earmuffs.
I was waiting for him to spell it out.
It's I'm pretty sure it's pronounced necromancy.
No, it's print.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
So you're
I need to go
check
see a
Wait.
friend.
with your.
Do you guys got this?
I think we got this.
Yeah.
We should. I mean, and I kind of like whisper because I feel like we're getting like loud again.
Oh yeah, our volume has
Um,
been.
I kind of point to the door and say, "We should probably talk about this, not here." Because
You
she's
take these
sleeping.
off.
Ask me again in a few hours.
I remember now, though. His
And
eyes
Dermot
went
will-
dark.
Dermot will turn to leave.
Okay.
Yes, I remember now, and I'll look at Kalia and I'll describe what I saw when I was using the lyrium. His eyes were dark and his body looked frail and skeletal, but when I told him what was going on, he seemed afraid.
Possible he was pushed through the portal then, without whatever safeguards. His story may have been rewritten just like mine.
I don't think that he's somebody we would like to grant a restoration then, I suppose. He wasn't the only one I saw things on. Arthea had the Ioun symbol over her, and Dermot the Moonweaver, though neither of those are surprising, but it was almost as if the deities were claiming them.
If I remember anything about Nevin Torn, when everything fell apart, he was able to safeguard a piece of land for himself. Using his own necromantic abilities, there was a kingdom. I'd never been there, but I'd heard it in passing. It was called Caleb. From what I understood, he was in charge of the defense of that kingdom to try to preserve whatever living people were left there. I'm just as surprised as you are. Trust me, he's a necromancer. That is typically not a good thing, but Just saying, he might not be as stereotypical as we all think he is.
I mean, to be fair, he didn't seem evil, or it didn't seem like he was trying to mislead us. I mean, genuinely, he wanted to do some research.
Don't know.
But at the same time, I mean, he also may, I don't know. I don't know if he could be working towards something and not know it if he doesn't really know who he was. He still, obviously, his skills are still intact. You don't lose that, I guess.
I guess in this case, he was written to be an arcanist of some kind. Perhaps he didn't even know that the energy he is using to do the stuff was necromancy. I don't know anything about that. I just know that being in that position, it's almost like a cruel joke that you are being rewritten into something else, and it's wrong.
Well, I guess until we hear from Dermot, I say we keep them on. I mean, if there's something wrong with them, it's been wrong with them for, well, the last, 6 months? No, not 6 months. 2 months.
Yep.
I don't think it'll make things worse.
Probably
And
better
they
than
do
the
function.
alternative right now.
Hmm?
Probably better than the alternative at the moment.
Probably true. Because we really don't know who all could be, looking. A lot
It
of
is.
people.
It is difficult to be popular, I suppose.
Oh, the trials of popularity.
I do think that we should keep Ellis with us, though.
Yeah, I'm a little creeped out. Can I just stay with you guys?
Yeah, you'll come with us.
Okay. I'm gonna go get my things real quick. And she turns and starts gathering, clothes. She grabs her practice sword. It takes her a few minutes, but eventually she does get together a small little knapsack and puts it over her shoulder. And as she starts to walk away, Ira says, "Ahem." And she points to it's this small table that's near a very clear cot where you can see plates, a mug, a couple other things, and all this kind of shoulders sink, and she walks over and grabs the stuff and just puts it next to the door where she knows Estella is on a countertop and just leaves it there. And then runs back over to you. Ired gets her bow over her shoulder. Says, "Where to?"
That was going to be my question.
Well, we don't quite know where Dermot went, and he doesn't quite know where to meet us. I suppose if he doesn't look for us here, the safest bet is probably my house.
We can let him know.
Oh, yes, I keep forgetting that we can do that with more regularity now.
Your house?
I should put this back.
Yes, definitely.
She started down the stairs. She made it about 5 steps before realizing she with this thing in her hand.
Oops.
This isn't mine. I'll just she'll press the button and flip it back to where it's supposed to be.
There you go. And now everything is working perfectly.
Well, I guess that's good. I feel like if this starts getting all jerky and, jammed, that's probably a really bad sign, so... If I spill my drink in it, do the planes, get completely out of Fritz?
All of a sudden there's a storm.
You can certainly try.
Since it's raining.
It turns a raining monster.
Damn it! Sorry, guys.
So, I guess if we weren't. If the existence of an underplane is something that was not at all widely known until perhaps very recently, how did Estella have a figure that could magically turn into that? I mean, if she had known that existed,
Well,
I guess I just don't know how something of this is there without her understanding what she was looking at, or at least having some concept that she was looking at this.
well, I mean, it was, at least in some respects, it was known. Because it was known by the guy whose journal we've been chasing.
Right, but everyone
So-
assumed he was a crazy person.
Everyone assumes Estella's crazy too.
That's fair.
I mean, Allura said that she stumbled upon, well, some of it, or her theory, during school. So, I mean, the device itself could be old. I don't know. I mean, I don't even know how old this place is, actually. I mean, you probably would know. How old is this city?
Let's have him roll a history check to see if he was paying attention in school that day. He wasn't.
He wasn't?
He probably wasn't. He's not good at the history. Despite being trained in it, every time I roll for it, I roll
love
like
it.
shit. Like today, I rolled a 5, so that's a 9.
Oh.
Like the dice are like, I know you picked this as a skill for him to have, but no.
But intelligence is one of the dump stats. So
You know, Thurston has other skills that he's good at.
yeah,
He
he's
has-
good
he
at
has a-
numbers, not history.
I mean, it's just, I don't think it's, well, I'm not saying it's easy to build, but to model, it's not that difficult. I mean, most of that's pretty straightforward. It's just basic math, really.
You guys
Uh,
keep talking about math. That's not basic.
No, it really is. I mean, I have notes on some stuff like that. I have no idea how someone built a working model. That's more Dermot's area, really. He's very good with the tinkering, actually. I mean, maybe he could, like, take it apart. Well, that would probably be bad.
Yeah,
But-
where's the history fucking section of what? None? Great. It's been around
No, it's pretty old.
It's pretty old.
pretty old. With a 9, I mean, at least 100 years old.
That's younger than Arthea. That's not old.
With a 9, that's what you get.
There's just like, man, it's
It's like shit.
looking at him.
Built over 50
I rolled a-
years ago.
I rolled a 19 in history. Was Cad listening in world history that day?
With a 19, I will say yes. It's been around for maybe 300 to 400 years. It's an old-ish city by human standards, but
It's relatively new.
I mean, in school we learned that Western was built 300 or 400 years ago. By the way, I'm not proficient in history and I only have a +1, so
I mean, I'm there are things floating about that, artifacts that surface, so it could be something old, but it also could be something that she built if she was, I don't know what exactly she was looking at when she started her research, but if it's something she's been working on for decades, it might be something she constructed herself. I mean, she has this entire observatory modeling the universe. I would guess it's probably just a small jump to, but it is very specific. You're not wrong.
I mean, a model of our universe, I get. It's mostly a model of the other universe that allegedly no one knew about. I don't know. That just seems odd to me that
Oh no, it's odd. It's
with the push of a
absolutely
button,
odd.
we could have had several answers the last time we were here. If we just...
Actually, I don't remember seeing that the last time we were here. I didn't really go poking about, and we were also somewhat busy, but
Yeah.
no, it's odd. I mean, it's at least something to keep in mind. The other universe is, well, it it's off. It doesn't work properly, which I'm assuming is, well, maybe not intentional, but a reflection of how things there are now. It seems like some of the planes here, things move smoothly. Things are still at least aligned where they're supposed to be. There, it seems like that alignment is off to the point of places being completely non-functional. Which,
Yes, well, Pike and her friends and their allies made it so that he didn't get a chance to do to this world what he seems to be doing to Kalia's world. And if there's an opening for him to come back, that's going to be.
I mean, that's really the big question, I think. I don't, I'm not going to pretend to understand the whole, well, religious aspect of it. That's not really my area, as very clear. Um, but he's blocked from coming here. I mean, that encompasses this entire plane. I think the only way that you can get around that is if you change about this plane. You can't just punch a hole through. That's kind of what it's there to prevent, realistically.
Changing this plane and realigning the stars and making
Yes.
some of them go out.
Precisely.
I've seen what his followers can do. I don't want to see what will happen if he comes through again.
With that in mind, you guys are heading to the Noller Estate.
Yes, we are.
All right. We will cut to the university, where Dermot, I assume, is power clopping his way to Professor Drake's shack, correct?
Yes, that is 100% correct.
Okay. You you walk with purpose and determination, and you can definitely see, like, some of the passing students will be like, "Oh, that dude's got horns. That's kind of cool." And they'll kind of like glance and like, "I wonder why he's going in that direction." And the more you like commit to going to that shack that looks like shit, multiple students are like, "Why is he going in there? Do you think he knows Professor?" You have started rumors by associating yourself with the shack. So well done.
Excellent.
But yes, the door is closed. It is just as ramshackle and a little dirty and dusty as you remember.
Okay. I knock before entering. And just poke my head in. Professor, are you in here?
You hear a from below, and a little bit of smoke once again rises from that spot where you know the entrance to his laboratory is.
I will shout into the room. I take that as a yes. And I will create one of my Eldritch Cannons, the Protector.
Okay.
So every 6 seconds, this like almost like a energy EMP burst will discharge and grant, I think it's a D8 plus 1 temporary hit points to anybody within 10 feet of it.
Awesome.
And I go inside with this thing following me on like little spider legs. following right behind me, and I head downstairs.
Okay. You summon your turret, if you will, and it spider walks, keeping pace with you as it crawls kind of up the wall a little bit.
Mhm.
You are met with smog and just the smell of smoke just sort of invading your senses, so you kind of have to wave your hand in front of you to make it breathable a little bit for you. But you're definitely hearing some consistent rumbling of something mechanical below. And as you make your way down the stairs, you can see in this slightly cramped lab what looks like a cart without anything to attach a horse to. It's got a storage thing on the top, it's got 4 wheels, and it seems to be rumbling and just coughing out this consistent smoke. And approaching the source of this smoke, you see the familiar form of Professor Rigg, who, before he kneels down and starts working, says, "Ah, yes, Dermot O'Feary. Welcome back." And you see he turns and kneels down and starts using some tools to reduce the smoke that is just billowing out of this hole.
The old horseless carriage trick.
I am almost complete with a functional design. It has proven quite troublesome.
Impressive nonetheless. I've picked up a few tricks myself, and I point to my little protector drone thing. And Tick is fluttering about as well.
He fixes the thing so there's no more smoke coming out of this machine, and he robotically rises and then turns, and then his head snaps in the direction of Tick and then perfectly follows his movement. And then his head snaps and looks at your drone. Genius. Compact, functional, and helpful.
And with that, it'll let out the next burst to give both of us 9 temporary hit points.
You see the energy surges through the room, and Rigg just sort of watches the wave collide with the wall behind him before the glow just sort of fades. And he almost puffs his chest a little bit, almost as if he's just recognizing what's going through. Quite genius, Dermot.
My friends
O'Feary.
My friends tend to get in a little bit of trouble. It's easier just to have them take one of these with them.
That is quite thoughtful of you, and also quite advanced, considering how short of a time you have had to learn. I do believe you are a prodigy of some kind.
Well, thank you very much. I was actually, one of the things I was stopping by for was to see if you had the next book in the series. And I show him my Artificer textbook.
Yes, I do. And he approaches and takes the book from you, and then turns a perfect 90-degree angle and moves towards the very small bookshelf that's above the work table. And you see he replaces that volume. And as he
and as he goes to reach, I say, I did find the sections on artillery and the artillerist to be very interesting if you have a book that focuses on that angle of study.
You see, he, like a crane game, was initially going to reach for the second issue of General Education Artificer, and then you see his arm move 3 books down and finds a different volume. And it says Artillerists for You, but with a 4 and just He turns and says, "Typically, I would recommend this volume for students who have pursued this arcanum for at least 8 semesters. But you have proven yourself." And he hands the book to you.
Well, I appreciate your trust in me.
Absolutely.
Um,
You are my only student. Therefore, I consider
your
you
best
my
student.
favorite and best student.
Well, you are my favorite teacher.
I appreciate that. And you see his head lean forward a little bit, and you see he mimic the motion of like wiping a tear, and then just his hand comes right back down.
There was one other thing I wanted to ask you about. Um, are you familiar with crafting crafting items of a more general magical nature, like magical weapons and armor, or magical protections, like
Yes.
cloaks of protection or proofs against detection or things like that?
Yes, these items would be classified in the School of Abjuration.
Um,
I love
I
peeing as his character.
I uh I had purchased an item, um an amulet. In fact, a few of my friends have them as well. It is, and I show him the amulet. Um, I've tried to identify it a few times, and it's an amulet of proof against detection. Um, what interests me is the fact that the school of magic, that the aura that comes off of this item, um, is not abjuration. The thing powering this amulet appears to be necromancy. I didn't think that was possible. Have you ever heard of anything like that?
You see, he leans forward, impossibly close, to observe the amulet around your neck. You see, he uh, raises his hand and performs perfectly with robotic precision these somatic components. And you hear a recording play of somebody uttering the verbal components. And you see this little arcane flash hovered around your necklace. This is an impossibility. This will require further testing. And he, again, this time focuses on another arcane enchantment. And you see his eyes, which are just discs that give off this faintly blue white light, shift, and you see the color change to one of a more like a deeper blue, maybe purplish color.
Mm-hmm.
And you see this light emanate and just sort of glide across your person as a whole. And as it does, for the briefest of moments, as this basically, like, you know, like when you see a scanner and it scans up and down, as the light hits you, you notice this cloud that's revealed by this light that's around you. And then after this scan completes, you hear, "This is quite jarring. I will have to display this as a minor image." And you see he turns, and in the open space near this cart, he generates an image of you, standing as you are now.
Mm-hmm.
This is you, to the untrained eye. There is nothing out of place. However, with the true sight, this is revealed. And then you see the image shift, and you see this shadow undead creature that is not making physical contact with you. It is more circling around you, looking outward. I can only theorize, but I believe that instead of the true abjuration school, the necromancy means that the enchantment in your amulet is powered by an undead creature. It does not appear that you have come to any harm or have suffered any ill effects from bearing this item.
Um, do you, do you think it's possible that this item could be dangerous to the wearer? Certainly.
To the bearer, I do not believe so, given that you have held it for insert number of days.
Uh, months, few months.
As I theorized. However, my concern is what happens to those who attempt to scry on you.
Um, do do you have any theories?
See, his headlight goes down as though he's like just computing, and he stands there motionless for 5, 6 minutes. It would require a test. But in order to complete the test, we would need to have a control group, also known as someone who would perform a scry spell upon a bearer of this necklace. Only then will we know the effects of what this creature has on those who scry upon a bearer of this necklace.
Um, well, given your concerns, I can't think of anybody who I would want to put in harm's way to do that.
I
Um,
also agree.
if if there's ever anything you need me for, a sending seems to make its way through. Just call and
Understood.
I'll let you know where I am if I need to or help you out in any way I can. Please don't scry on me.
I do not plan to, given
Um,
the present circumstances.
yeah, at
With
least
your neck having a creature attached to it. He's just repeating like
mhm.
everything involved.
Well, I appreciate that. Appreciate you giving me some insight into this. Um, oh, not quite the kind of insight I was expecting or hoping for, but that's not your fault.
Such
Um,
is the way of arcana and science. We do not look for good or bad. We just seek knowledge.
um, I need to touch base with my friends. Um, but the carriage looks cool. I'll probably be back at some point if you need any help or an extra set of hands to work on it. We'll probably be in town for a few days.
I would love the company and your assistance with
Sure.
this project.
Cool. I'll see you later then, Professor.
Farewell, Dermot. O'Feary.
And I make my way out.
Okay.
Dermot is deeply unsettled by this. Replacing these is probably on the to-do list. But I will, since I left before everybody else did, I don't know where they went. So I am going to start by going back to the observatory.
I
Okay.
said send a message.
I don't have the thing. How am I
I
supposed to
don't
send
have
the
the thing
message?
either. Faraday has
I
the
think
thing.
Faraday
I have
has
the
the
thing.
thing.
Oh, are they not talking?
I would assume by the time we're leaving,
Scandalous.
she's going to tell him where they're going at the very
Okay.
least.
I'd say at this point, as you're leaving Riggs, the
We're
conversation
leaving the
over at the
observatory.
observatory, we'll just, for sake of my brain, it
Okay.
works out.
So I will meet them outside the Nullard Estate.
You guys approach the estate, and you can see the grounds are kept well. Jules and his gardeners have clearly outdone themselves. As you can see, as you're approaching, kind of going up the driveway, there are chairs being taken away and put on two small carts. And you can see what looks like an altar is being taken down. And as you approach, you see Jules is sort of directing traffic and then sees you. Ah, young Thurston, welcome back. I do believe that you may have missed the event. Your sister was married last night, actually.
You couldn't.
I
I didn't even receive a message informing me to perhaps have traveled back in haste. I would have wished to see my sister get married. Who walked her down the aisle then?
Your mother did.
That's probably fair, but still.
I do apologize. I did wish to inform you. However, it was actually your mother's request. You see, he kind of looks around, like making sure that, like she is everywhere. So she's, he's making sure. I believe her words were, his adventures seem more important.
How could she ever? Thank you for giving me the update, Joel.
I do apologize, young master. She is seeing a guest in her office, but I do believe that they are finishing their business presently.
A guest that I should be aware of, or?
Mr. Whitward, Lord Lamar Whitward.
Interesting. Oh.
Shifty.
Well, apologize to continue to bring more and more people to add more work to every time I come home. But you're, of course, familiar with the bulk of my friends. But this is Kalia. I'm not sure if she'll be staying for probably just as long as we will, for a couple of days. And this is little Ellis.
Well, wonderful to make your acquaintance. You see, he looks up at Kalia and gives a very formal bow, and Kalia is almost like put off, like, what is this? Where am I? And Ellis kind of says, I like your suit. Just, oh, thank you, young Ellis. Is that a real pocket watch? It is. And you see he retrieves it and disconnects it from his pocket, presents it to Ellis, and she's like, "Can I?" She like retracts her hands, and he says, "No, it's all right." And like presents it to her, and she like grabs onto it and kind of starts playing with it a little bit. She's playing with the locking mechanism to have the window open and close. Yes, make yourselves at home. If you require anything, just merely say the word. He bows once again. I will prepare some food. It is getting to be about lunchtime. If you'll just permit me some time, I will have a spread prepared for all of you.
It's greatly appreciated.
He bows once more. You see he turns and starts...
Try and watch him without blinking.
You know what? Make a Constitution saving throw. It's a particularly windy and dusty day.
It's spring, so there's a lot of pollen.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Jackson.
Miss Jackson, you watch as he walks into the estate and is disappeared from sight.
He didn't do it that time.
He knew you were watching.
What are we talking about?
They have some strange obsession with our family's butler. I have yet to fully understand.
He
It's-
always appears whenever and wherever you need him.
He's a very good butler.
Oh,
That's his
He's a
job.
very powerful mage.
He's an excellent butler.
Ellis says, a very powerful mage and butler.
Yeah.
A muttler.
And his secret is now out.
She gets it.
I'm just saying, I just want to see it happen once. Like, actually see it.
Okay. Well, why don't we go inside? I will say that you are more than welcome to use the same rooms as last time.
Is everything
Kalia,
okay?
I'm sure it's quite fine. I do need to talk to my mother, though. Kalia, I will ensure that Jules has a room set up for you as well. And Ellis, do you want your own room, or would you like to stay with Faraday?
Never had my own room before. Okay, yeah, I would like one. Can it be next to Faraday's though, just in case I get scared?
Yes.
Okay. Yay! I'm
How many
excited.
rooms do you have, Thurston? Like ones that aren't yet regularly in use.
Oh, just the guest rooms?
Yeah.
Well, there's the guest house. Do you
Right.
just want the ones in the main house, though?
Just the ones in the main house, because the guest house is still potentially being occupied.
I presume so. I'm not sure, but I assume the Lorelei family is staying there. There should be. Well, we turned that one, we knocked down the wall to extend Gracie's closet, so that one doesn't count as a room anymore. There are probably an extra 10 bedrooms.
Okay. So you
So
can
I
just.
suppose if Gracie's moving out, then
Why would she be?
there
moving
are
out?
11. Apparently, the decorations are because my sister got married last night.
Oh damn.
To that one guy?
I will be finding out further details shortly, I'm sure.
Are you sure it was that sister who got married?
Well, the other two are married. I don't have another one.
Are you sure? I keep losing track of them.
I only have 3. You haven't
I've only
met.
two.
Yes, you haven't met
Okay.
Avis. She doesn't visit as often.
Okay, that's where the confusion is.
You should make sure to tell Jules about the bathroom on the airship, because
Yes, priority number 1.
I'm
And you
just
can like
saying.
see that he's like trying to keep his cool, but like you've always never seen Thurston actually like angry before. But he's like trying to be like, yes, of course, I'm a great host. Whatever you guys need.
Why don't we go and book and put our things down?
Come on, Ellis. I will get you settled.
Okay, this
Do you
place
wanna-
is really big.
I'll take the dagger of displacement out of my like thigh holster and be like, "Do you want to take this with you to talk to your mother?"
No.
Just checking.
The Nallard family prefers cutting words to cutting knives.
Oh yeah, I don't know that spell.
Is that like their family motto?
No, they have a family motto. What did I make their family
Shut
motto?
up!
Of course,
I
they
made
have
them
a
a-
family motto.
I made them a
Do they have
family crest.
I was
Did
just gonna
you
say they must have a
really?
crest.
Guess
Damn
I'm
right
a
they do.
nerd.
They have like a coat of arms and everything.
Holy shit!
Remind me,
they're-
I
that you
love
have
you.
all of this shit.
Their family motto is, I'm not going to try to say it in Latin, is it translates to gentle in manner, firm in act.
I love it.
That's pretty
I
dope.
love
It's
it.
fantastic. The rest of you are led inside, and Jules pretty much surprisingly quickly starts churning out like lunch dishes, sandwiches, that sort of thing. The dining table is just filled with all sorts of things, and Alice about pees herself with just how much delicious food she sees. Thurston, what do you do?
I leave the party in the capable hands of Jules and the rest of the staff, and I head towards my mother's office.
All right. As you head up the stairs, you can actually see as you're walking down the hall towards her office, the doors are closed, but seated next to the doors is someone you recognize. Elric Woodward, the younger noble son, who is mid-drink of a flask and then sees you and then... Hi. Welcome back. How are things?
Oh, well, journeys are always somewhat difficult. Traveling by horse for days on end is... Yes.
I don't know how you manage that. I need my carriage pretty much all the time, so...
I guess I have learned to adapt.
And just as he's about to continue the conversation, the doors open, and you can see stepping out is Sabelina, who is gesturing gracefully to an older man. He has sort of a coif of silver graying hair. He has a full goatee, very well kept and well cropped. His suit is of darker colors with a little bit of a deep red undervest and a lining to go along with it. He has a small cane with a crystal at the end. And he is sort of mid goodbye to Sabelina. It was wonderful to see you again, Sabelina. I'm really glad we could come to... Ah, Thurston. Wonderful to meet you. I apologize. This is wonderful to make your acquaintance. And he holds out a hand.
Thurston will shake his hand and say, yours as well. I apologize. I did not mean to cut your meeting short or anything, but like...
No, I do believe our business was concluded. And Sabelina says, yes, it was. And you can see that she looks at you, and her smile, you can tell when it's real and you can tell when it's not.
Mhm.
I'm going to just let you think about which one this could be. But he says, well, it was wonderful making your acquaintance. We do have an appointment that we do have to get to, but it was wonderful to meet you. I look forward to further business in the future. He gives a bow.
Of course, have a good rest of your day.
You as well. Elric. Yeah, right behind you. He sort of stands up and says, well, it's nice seeing you guys again. Welcome back. And he follows after Lamar, and they disappear down the staircase. And pretty much the moment they are out of sight, Sabelina's expression turns from this to, "Can't you join me?"
Mm-hmm.
You both step inside her office, this time in a distinctly different tone than you are used to. She closes the door behind. "Well, I'm happy to see you home. It was a wonderful ceremony. You would have loved to see it."
I certainly would have loved to see it. And if I had been aware, I could have made haste and been back in Western a few hours earlier in order to be here.
I didn't want to cause any trouble with any other arenas you may have found yourself in. They know.
Define they.
Chainhelm is convinced that multiple people saw you and your friends engage in some sort of underground arena where you, in a valiant battle, had been knocked unconscious. And to everybody's curiosity, your appearance shifted. Now, it's all hearsay and rumors, but rumors, when repeated long and often enough, stop being rumors.
I assure you, I am very much aware of those rumors. Okay. And there's some pauses, and he takes a deep breath. I'm not trying to have a conversation in anger. However, I do find it somewhat insulting that you would think that I would prioritize anything over this family, including seeing my sister be married.
Tell me, when you left last time, where did you go again?
We were ultimately making our way to Vasselheim.
Where was the communication on that?
The last communication that we had, you asked me to stay away, which is what I did. I went to an entirely different continent on, granted, what essentially did end up becoming a diplomatic mission, but an entirely different continent.
Yes, that was right around the time that Chainhelm himself had approached the estate with this accusation that the Nollard heir was not who he appeared to be. And I believe that in that exchange, when I had informed you to stay away, you had stated, with regards to these rumors, what again? That they were non existent? That it didn't happen?
I had stated that they were unsubstantiated.
But that's not the truth, is it?
Substantiation requires proof. They have no proof.
Who else knows?
The majority of my friends do.
As you say that, she's her prim and proper posture fades, and she is a ball of frustration. She just steps by her desk. "I don't know what it is you're trying to do to me, but I must insist now, due to Lord Woodward's involvement in stopping these rumors, and with our new business venture that we are now allied with, I must insist that your adventurers have ended, and your focus is entirely on the survival of this family."
And what is this new partnership and venture?
Well, he has agreed to speak with Chainhelm and insist that these rumors, these unsubstantiated rumors, remain that, and fade with the wind, or whatever phrase you wish to use in the present time. In return for this personal favor, we are to begin investing in military equipment, diversifying our profile, and also essentially coming up with a principal investment amount for the Widwards to branch out and diversify their profile as well.
Well, I can't say that investing in military technologies was the way that I saw our family going, but I wasn't here to assist in the decision making.
Well, damage control needed to be handled at the present time. So I apologize if the perception of what I had to do as current leader of this family did not align with what you had saw fit to happen instead.
Well, we can't change that. I can't just stop at this point. I assure you, no.
What, you have more farms to save or bandits to rout? No, the adventuring, the fairy tales, they all stop because clearly you cannot be trusted to keep our secret safe.
I'm going to very purposefully move past the end of that statement to get to the very heart of the matter. The balance of our universe as we know it is potentially at stake. The mission that I went on to Vasselheim was essentially on behalf of Arcanist Allura Vysoren. And I ended up also meeting with the Baroness de Rollo in this exchange, who, by the way, wants to hold a gala for our family. Anyway, I love this family, and I am hoping that your words in anger are not a reflection of you thinking that's not true. But I love this family enough to want to ensure that the world we live in continues to exist. The money we have, the estate that we have, the family that we have is important to me. It is the most important to me. But what does it mean if the world that we know stops being?
Persuasion check.
I don't think my dice want me to win this fight. 18.
Do me a favor.
Mhm.
Mark down your number. Because that's where we're ending tonight's episode.
God damn it!
Jeez.
You're a piece of shit, Cujo.
Fuck!
A lot of shit just hit the fan for you guys. In an RP sense. Ooh. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
What a fucking damn you.
Well, to everybody who tuned in, thank you so much. I am going to love just thinking of what will happen next, but we love you. Be nice to each other. The creepy piano in the background is just absolutely giving me life right now, so be nice to each other. And we will see you next week for more Decisions and Dragons. Bye.
Internet.
Bye.
Okay, bye.